Every cake tells a story. The flour measured carefully, the sugar poured with patience, the eggs cracked one by one, and sometimes something else. Something that doesn't belong. Something you'd never taste. Something you'd never see. Something that kills. Tonight we open the case file on one of history's most chilling methods of murder. The poisoned cake. A weapon disguised as love. A gift wrapped in sweetness. A death sentence delivered on a plate. Stay with me, because this story is darker than you think. Before we get to the case, we need to understand something important. Poison and food have been connected for thousands of years, not by accident, by design. The ancient Romans knew this, Greek philosophers wrote about it. Medieval kings tasted every meal with fear, because they understood a terrifying truth. There is no more intimate act than feeding someone. They trust you completely, they open their mouths, they swallow without question, and that trust has been exploited since the beginning of human history. The ancient world had a word for professional poisoners. In Rome they were called veneficae, women who used poison as their weapon. Why women? Because in a world where they had no power, poison was the great equalizer. A small woman could bring down the powerful, but poison wasn't just European. In China, arsenic was nicknamed inheritance powder. In Japan, the fugu fish liver was a rumored tool. In the Arab world, poisoned sweets like baklava and halva were used in political assassinations as far back as the 8th century. Now let me tell you a story. It begins with love. Margaret was 26 when she married Thomas. By all appearances, they were a perfect couple. But behind closed doors, Thomas was controlling, cruel in the quiet ways. For 5 years, Margaret said nothing. She baked her cakes and she waited. What no one knew was that she found a guide. The plant was deadly nightshade, Atropa belladonna. It has a slightly sweet taste, almost completely undetectable, in a cake. On the morning of his birthday, she rose before dawn. She measured the flour. And from a hidden pouch, she measured something else. Thomas sat at the head of the table. She placed the cake in front of him. "Happy birthday, Thomas," she said. He smiled. He cut a generous slice. By evening, Thomas complained of feeling unwell. By midnight, he was delirious. By morning, he was gone. Clara, the neighbor, had noticed something. 3 weeks before, she had seen Margaret picking dark purple berries. 2 weeks after the funeral, Clara went to the magistrate. The body was exhumed. A young forensic chemist found traces of atropine. This was murder. Margaret was arrested on a Tuesday morning. She was standing in her kitchen, baking. She opened the door calmly. "I wondered how long it would take," she said. "She died in prison 2 years later." She never explained. She never apologized. Today, food tampering cases are carefully investigated. Modern forensic toxicology can detect substances smaller than a grain of sand. The chemistry Margaret hoped would hide her secret is now the chemistry that would expose it within hours. But the question is not how she did it. It's why nobody saw what was happening before she felt there was no other way out. Every cake tells a story. Most are beautiful, but some stories are darker. That's what Dark Sweets is about. Next episode, we go inside the world of the last meal. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And remember, not everything sweet is safe.